Hello everyone, welcome to Learn with Indralakshmi. Are you preparing for CTET, TET, TNTET, DSSSB, KVS or other teaching exams? Then today's topic is very important for you. We will learn classical conditioning theory and operant conditioning theory through a simple story and then revise it in a CTET exam oriented manner. Let's begin. Part 1. The story of Pavlov's dog. Many years ago, a scientist named Ivan Pavlov was studying digestion in dogs. Whenever food was given to the dogs, they naturally started salivating. One day, Pavlov noticed something strange. The dogs began salivating even before the food arrived. They had learned to associate certain signals with food. To test this idea, Pavlov rang a bell before giving food. Bell, food, bell, food, bell, food. This continued for several days. Finally, Pavlov rang the bell without giving food. What happened? The dogs still salivated. The dogs had learned to associate the bell with food. This learning through association is called classical conditioning. Seated note. Remember, food is equal to unconditioned stimulus, which we can say as UCS. Salivation to food is here as unconditioned response and bell here is conditioned stimulus. Salivation to the bell is conditioned response. Memory trick. Here we can say is Pavlov is equal to pairing. Bell is paired with food. Association is the key idea here. Part 2. The story of Skinner's rat. Now let us meet another psychologist named B.F. Skinner. Skinner wanted to know how consequences affect behavior. He placed a hungry rat inside a box. Inside the box was a small lever. The rat accidentally pressed the lever. Immediately, food appeared. The rat was happy. Again, it pressed the lever. Again, food appeared. Soon, the rat learned. If I press the lever, I get food. As a result, the rat started pressing the lever more frequently. Skinner concluded that rewarded behavior is repeated. This is called operant conditioning. Now, here the seated note is operant conditioning means learning occurs through rewards and punishments. Positive reinforcement means giving something pleasant after a desired behavior. For example, a teacher praises a student for answering correctly. Result, the student participates more. Negative reinforcement means removing something unpleasant after a desired behavior. Example, a teacher cancels extra homework because students completed their work on time. Result, students continue working sincerely. Now, then what is punishment? Giving an unpleasant consequence to reduce unwanted behavior. For example, a student who disturbs the class receives a warning. The result would be the behavior decreases. Classroom applications for CTET. You should remember that Classical conditioning could be creating a joyful classroom environment, developing positive attitudes towards learning, reducing fear and anxiety in students. Operant conditioning, using praise and appreciation, giving rewards and certificates, encouraging good behavior, managing classroom discipline. Quick comparison of classical conditioning and operant conditioning. Classical conditioning was proposed by Ivan Pavlov. Operant conditioning was proposed by B.F. Skinner. Classroom conditioning, here learning through association takes place. Operant conditioning, here learning through consequences takes place. Classical conditioning focus on stimulus, whereas operant conditioning focus on behavior. In classical conditioning, we understood that there is an involuntary response. There is an involuntary response, whereas in operant conditioning there would be a voluntary behavior. In classical conditioning, here the experiment is also known as Bell-Foot experiment, and operant conditioning, here the experiment is known as Skinner box experiment. Okay, since we have discussed the main idea, I think it's time for practicing some questions to just have a recap of the topic which we have discussed today. CTET previous year type MCQs. Question 1. Who proposed the theory of classical conditioning? Option A, Skinner. Option B, Piaget. Option C, Pavlov. Option D, Brunner. Here the answer would be option C, Pavlov. Moving on, question number 2. According to Skinner, learning occurs through option A, insight. Option B, observation. Option C, reinforcement. And option D, maturation. Option C, reinforcement is the correct answer. Now, question 3 says, a teacher gives a star to students who complete their homework regularly. This is an example of option A, punishment. Option B, reinforcement. Option C, negative reinforcement. Option D, extinction. The answer for this question would be option B, positive reinforcement. Okay, since we have discussed today's main topics and questions as well, let us also check with one CTET Master Trick. Remember this one line. Pavlov teaches association, Skinner teaches reinforcement. If you remember this statement, you can answer most CTET questions related to these theories. To conclude, classical conditioning is learning through association, operant conditioning is learning through rewards and punishments. Both theories are important for understanding, learning, and classroom behavior. Thank you for watching. This is Indralakshmi from Learn with Indralakshmi. And I would like to say that great teachers do not simply transfer knowledge, they create experiences that shape learning and behavior. If you found this video helpful, like, share, and subscribe to my channel Learn with Indralakshmi.